think we're live. We're live. How are we doing? Hope everyone's had a good week. Look at this weather. It's ridiculous. I've just actually been reading Sally Wilkinson's newsletter. I've just been telling my friend Kirsty. And I'll give it a few minutes. I'll chunter on here for a bit until we see a few people come on. Anyway, I have gone live a little bit earlier than planned because I think I finished my jobs earlier. So if you are watching on replay, hashtag replay. But as I was just saying about the weather, I went outside before to sit in the sun and it started to rain. Big black cloud. I'm sick of it. It's really messing with my mood as well. Anyway, for those of you that don't know me, I am Lucy Patterson, and what do I do? Well, I've been involved with network marketing for 9 years. Some of you have followed my story, some of you are my friends, some of you might not care. So yeah, I've been in the industry for, where are we now? Yeah, it'll be 9 years in October. And I just wanted to kind of share my story with you tonight and be really, really, really real about things. So what am I speaking about? That's what I'm speaking about really, is about kind of how I actually got into it. So hopefully this is kind of aimed to sort of maybe give you a bit of value and inspire you. But I'm 38 now. When I was 29 years old, life turned around and kind of slapped me in the face, as it were. It really did turn around and slap me in the face. I had a job. I graduated in 2008. I never got the jobs that I wanted because they probably just weren't there to get, which kind of really knocked my confidence. I studied journalism at John Moores University, and that's what I wanted to do. 2008, nobody was hiring, everybody was firing. And and I think that those kind of years really, really affected my confidence, and I ended up in a job where I was being bullied, and it was horrendous people to work for, really, really bad. I actually quite enjoyed the job. I was a secretary, and really I was in charge of all the online, it was for an estate agent, so I was in charge of all the online properties, which was everything for 6 shops. It was my job to put all of the properties for 6 shops across Cumbria onto the website and type up probates and deal with commercial properties. I was literally doing the job of 3 people. I didn't mind the work, but it was the conditions that I had to work under, really. The same file being brought back to my desk 3 or 4 times because I hadn't dotted an I or crossed a T. It was that bad. I mean, let's face it, when we're looking at Rightmove, what do we do? Do we read the description or do we look at the photos? I know what I do. So it got really, really bad, and it led to me feeling really down about myself and about the direction my life was going in. And after the Christmas, having that break at Christmas, in the January, I just had a whole year off in 2012. I walked into my office, I burst into tears. I'm sure some of you can relate to this. And I walked straight back out again and went home feeling like the biggest failure in the world because I couldn't hack it. And I come from like a family of grafters, you know, like my husband's a grafter. My mum she doesn't stop. And my dad is the same, and he's 70 now and he doesn't stop. So to do that was quite embarrassing. I felt like quite ashamed, really, of myself for not being able to stick it out. And I was a bit scared to tell my mum. I was like, oh, I've been signed off sick. And she said, good. And I was like, what? What do you mean that's good? That's not a good thing. So it took the whole of 2012 to sort out. And in that year, I had massive, massive anxiety. I mean, I was worried that people were trying to get in the house when they weren't. It was just ridiculous. I had huge anxiety that year. And I'm not knocking anyone by saying that, it was just ridiculous, but that's kind of looking back, that's how it felt. And so where was I going? So it took the whole of 2012 to sort out. We ended up settling out of court in January of 2013, and I've got one of my best friends in the world to thank for that, because she just helped me. She knew a lot about employment law, and yeah, it was really, really good. We didn't really need to involve any solicitors, but I did get some free advice, which was good. And I just got to the end of that, the beginning and end of that year thinking, I'm nearly 30, what the hell am I doing with my life? We haven't got kids yet, we haven't bought a house yet, we haven't done all of these things, and I've basically, for want of a better word, my 20s up the wall, you know, like I had so much free time. Like before that job, I was working as a receptionist in a hotel. I had like 4 days off to like conquer the world, and what did I do? Just mess about. And I think like when I got into the industry, I was like, there's another way. There's another way. There's another way to do life. There's another way to, like, I don't really have to be one of these people that hate my job forever and just because I need to pay some rent, you know. And I got so excited about it that this thing was going to change my life, you know. And I was absolutely damn sure that it was going to change my life. You know, I was going to put absolutely everything into it. I didn't really have any commitments. So I just went all in. I signed up like pretty much 10 customers between October and Christmas. It was like one a week. I just went for it. I was just so excited about what I'd found. And those 10 customers, I'm still making money off them today, which is great, you know, because they pay for a service and I make a percentage. And that's what got me so excited about the industry. But what I found was, going into the new year after starting in the October, that not everybody shared my excitement, which was a bit of a disappointment. And all the people that I classed as friends weren't as excited as me. And I was like, oh, hang on a minute. And that got me really kind of like again, you know, the anxiety was back again. I was like, oh, right, okay, maybe I should not be as excited about this. And because I was quite a people pleaser. I think I still am sometimes, but as you get older, ladies, as we get older, we kind of care less about that kind of thing. I'm 38 and I'm almost like so excited about my 40s because I'm going to care even less then. So that just really excites me. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I see women in their 70s and I'm like, you're rocking it. You don't care what anyone thinks. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, so I was like thinking that if I kind of like, I sent them letters, my friends, oh, it's just so embarrassing. And then I came across, I think it was the January or the February, this event on YouTube. It was recruit 20 in 30 days. So recruit 20 people in 30 days. That was the goal. And I know people that have done that, but I did it so badly. So if you're one of those people that had a really badly worded message from me back then, I am so sorry. It was like this long, like a big long Facebook message. Facebook, I suppose, was quite new back then. I really only joined Facebook in 2007. And then I started network marketing in 2013. And yeah, it was just very, very interesting. And nobody really shared my excitement at all. Like, I was like, well, I must be the most ambitious person here. I must be the most ambitious person in my town. But I had such a strong reason why. It freaked me out that at 29 that I'd lost my job. I'd lost my only stream of income. We could only survive really a month because we weren't really that good with money, let's face it. We were living way beyond our means. I could only really survive a month. We could only really survive a month in the house we were living in, you know, without my income. My income paid for all of the bills, and then we just spent Mike's money on food and going out and having a good time. And I look back now and I think, if only I knew then what I knew now, but would I listen? And I think to myself, yeah, so where was I? I was talking about being excited. So yeah, so that excitement carried on. I mean, I absolutely have the most fondest memories of the company that I am still with, but because I get an income from it. But obviously I've been doing other stuff over the last year. And I think that in network marketing, it's not like when you have a job. Changing companies like, I did really, really well in that company. I did well in terms of customer gathering, but recruitment, it was like, oh, you know, and I've just learned so much now moving out of that company that I never knew before. And I have met all these women who are around about my age, some a little bit younger, some a little bit older, but around the 30, 40 mark, 40 plus mark, who have been absolutely killing it. They've been absolutely smashing it. I know girls just up the road from me that they've recruited like 15 people in a week. And I'm thinking, was it me? Was it my fault? You know, but I've had like really long discussions with a really good friend of mine, Kirsty, who recruited me into Urban Retreat last year. And the stuff I have learned of that woman is insane. So, like, thank you so much if you're watching. It's absolutely insane. And we have just voice noted back and forward. And I you know, I would reckon I did really quite okay last year. And her upline as well, Natasha and Charlie, I mean, for 8 weeks, I think for 10 weeks, she kept saying, I know you're going to say no, but I know you're going to say no, but, and I am so pleased that I did. And it wasn't easy. It's not like when Mike left his job and they gave him some money and some beers to go out with. It wasn't really like that at all. Sadly, I don't think it was on good terms either. You know, I just needed to make that move for myself. I had the winter lockdown from hell. I mean, 2020, I was killing it in 2020 because everybody was at home. Everybody was looking for something else. Everybody was freaking out about the cost of things and how their income was going to drop down to 80%. But yeah, leaving a network marketing company to go to another one isn't all it's cracked up to be, because it just isn't. It's not the same. And that's me being really quite polite, I think. Yeah, and it's quite sad, I think. It was quite sad. But I have learned so much in this last year about how to do things, about how to treat people. You know, I just saw everybody as a prospect. I'll be perfectly honest with you all now. I just saw everybody as somebody to recruit, somebody to sign up as a customer, and then I would get really mad if they didn't sign up as a customer. But that, my whole attitude to it changed last year, and I think that this now needs to happen across the industry, because people get so peed off with people probably like me jumping into their inbox as I did back then. I could have done that so much better. When I think now, oh, I could have done that so much better. Like, if I'd just said the right thing and not, you know, verbal vomited all over them. But, you know, you live and you learn, don't you? And there's so many more fish in the sea, people that genuinely do need these opportunities. And I think that, you know, some people will go, oh, is that one of them things where everybody makes the money at the top and nobody makes any money at the bottom? I'm like, no, people do make money at the bottom. I was never anywhere close to the top in my first company, and I'm still making money from it now. And we've had 2 free holidays, we've had 2 free weekend breaks, and I think, yeah, so winter lockdown, just going back to winter lockdown, really, it really did kill me off. It really did. My motivation was gone. I was really annoyed at the world as well, because of what was happening in the world. It really messed with my head. I was really quite cross, quite angry. Still am a little bit today, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. You know, very cross, very angry. And as a mother as well, cross and angry just about the way things are going in the world. And when you see that, you can't unsee that. So, you know, without getting too political, because I know not everybody shares the same opinions as me about these kinds of things. So that really did have an effect. And being bad weather, 12 hours a day, on our own, just me and Tommy, Mike going to work, coming back, feeling knackered, no entertainment. Like, literally, I drove one day when we could start, I think it was in April, we weren't out of full lockdown, and I drove one day for a plant sale, and there was literally a plant sale. I drove 60 miles down the road just to get out, just to get a change of scene. It was that bad. And I think everyone can relate to that. I don't think it should have happened in a lockdown last year. I think it really, really shouldn't have happened, and I was really cross and angry. And everybody switched off. My whole team just stopped. Like, they were uncontactable. But they were dealing with their families in their houses, and that's like a lot for people. And I just wanted to crack on working. And I really do come from a place of, you know, you just keep going, you just keep going, you just keep going. And what I've learned over this last year as well is I went into this new company, and all these women, they were taking such good care of themselves and such good care of their families, and self-care was something that it just didn't really happen with me. I was like, when did I ever reward myself? Like, I didn't reward myself for all. The only time I think I really did reward myself was I bought a jacket that wasn't in the sale, and it was a Joe Brown's one, and it's absolutely divine, and it's got the purple collar across here. I've still got it downstairs. It needs some buttons attached to it, and it was like 80-90 pounds. It was the only time I rewarded myself. But I never really gave myself enough credit for all the work I did. I got very angry at myself when Mike lost his job in 2019. Thankfully it wasn't the year after, and I just was so angry at myself that I couldn't see all the good that I'd done. I couldn't see any good that I had done. And going from that environment to then going into this environment where there was women like me with young families looking after themselves, rewarding themselves, like self-care off the Richter scale, and absolutely smashing it at the same time. I thought, hang on a minute, there's got to be something in this, really. Whereas it was such a different environment. There wasn't a lot of, like, in my crossline, in my friends in the previous company, even though I had many friends in that previous company, they weren't really in my boat with a really, really young family. I really can't think of one that was a woman, like a mother in that situation. Maybe one or two, but not on the scale of when I changed companies. Anyway, you get what I mean, hopefully. So going from that environment to a totally different environment, and I was like, I seriously can't believe this. Like, I just felt like I've been doing it the old school way, and you guys have been doing it this way since 2014. I am so bloody behind. It makes me cross to this day how behind I am in terms of, like, what they know and what they've been doing, and Instagram and Facebook and all the rest of it. It filled me full of. But I just went and did it. Like, one thing I'm really, really good at is consistency. I can rock up and I can feel like crap, and I can be consistent. Maybe not so much this morning, but I think that's where kind of that army work ethic, not that I've ever been in the army, but that's kind of been instilled into me just from growing up. You showed up, you just show up and you get on with it. But I have learned to be a lot kinder to myself, a lot kinder to myself, still working on that, and giving myself some time. Like, I felt like crap this week. Like, I felt really bad. Normally I absolutely sail through my monthlies. This week's been a chore, and just everything's triggered me. Like, hormones have gone off the roof. They've gone off the Richter scale this week, and it's just coming out. Just like absolutely screaming in people's faces. But so I have given myself like a bit more downtime. Tommy's definitely had some more soft playtime whilst I've just been laser focused. Like, I just had to get out of the house the other day. So yeah, I feel like I've gone a bit crazy this week. But what I've learned is self-care, and I just wasn't doing that. I was observing. It was kind of almost in a man's world, and they were off on a Saturday afternoon. Oh, go and do an appointment, and then I'll call in this person and see if they've got any referrals. And I'm like, at home with the baby, going, what? What are you on about? And going into the urban retreat world last year, where there was a bunch of women like me, was just like a breath of fresh air, because I was like, what, you felt like that too? Oh, you felt like that too? oh, well, you were told to work harder and you were at home with a breastfeeding baby, feeling like crap, knackered, on your knees, and expected to, and I think, yeah, we need to be all a bit kinder to ourselves. And I think that's where the best productivity comes. If I'm showing up as my best self, then that's gonna be much better for everybody. And I think we can all really learn something from that, is that taking care of ourselves instead of just expecting ourselves to be absolute machines. I know Jessica Silver's watching, so I mean she does call me a machine sometimes, and that's I take that as a total compliment. But yeah, sometimes the machines you need to fill your cup up. You need filled up. My filling my cup up is all the stuff I share on my group, so I'm going to go on to that. So anyway, fast forward to 2022, and because I'm kind of got stuck on 2021 a bit there. Fast forward to 2022, and it just released this creativity. And I was listening to Natasha Pearson the other night, and it was like she was talking about me. I was like, are you talking about yourself, or are you talking about me here? Because she had been through this year exactly all the same things emotionally wise that I'd been through, and she was writing her book, I was writing my book, and then she was like changing, like she was looking at rebranding, and I was like branding myself with the Life with Lucy brand, and I was like, this is really weird. And all her emotions were the same, and her disappointed feelings and hiding behind the smile. I was like, are you talking about me? Are you talking about somebody else? Anyway, so yeah, so the whole Life with Lucy thing came about in January, and I just wanted to put some content together. It's not all my own. A lot of it is sharing with other people's, and Facebook being Facebook, if I shared a YouTube link on my profile, hardly any of you would see it. And believe me, I do a bit of stalking on people's profiles. And sometimes I do actually message people when they've got something amazing to share. I'm like, get that on your stories, because that nobody's seen it. You've shared it on your profile and nobody's seen what you've shared. And that I am seeing that so much right now. It's unbelievable, and it drives me insane, because Facebook doesn't want you to leave Facebook. We were always taught that. Facebook doesn't want you to leave Facebook. So I decided to create a group, and on a Monday it's kind of mindset and meditation. Sorry, not the other one. Mindset and meditation. And I've been sharing some of Chris Silver's meditations. I've been sharing Megan Rose, who I just need to, I need my Megan fix. Like every week I listen to Megan as I'm cooking the tea. I love her to bits. She's huge on YouTube. And so I've been doing their meditations, and on a Tuesday it's Trading Tuesday, because that's the industry, the network marketing company I'm part of now. Wednesday I'm asking a question and then going live on a Thursday to answer that question. On a Friday it's something for the weekend. So I am going to drop the link to my group in the comments section of this live, and if you haven't done already, come and see what we're doing over there. There's about 130 odd of us now. There's a newsletter to go with the group, and there's just loads and loads of cool content. Like I say, there's meditations in there, there's motivational stuff for a Monday, and on a Friday it's something for the weekend, and it's all the sort of stuff I like to listen to over the weekend, and some of it is just, it'll blow your mind. And I'm so happy. I was so happy yesterday to find Kerry Cassidy on YouTube, because she's not normally on there anymore. She's fierce, like she's totally fierce. She's one of the original truthers, and she's on with Dr. Charnel Wolverton. So I was like, double bubble, this is great, I've got to get this on here. So yeah, so if you are interested in checking out the group Life with Lucy, that's my new brand, and yeah, it's all about valuable content, and the whole thing behind it was creating freedom in all areas of your life. And I am flying the freedom flag right now, because I can see in the world how our freedoms are being more and more compromised. I always thought that financial freedom was just the answer, but I feel like freedom of expression, freedom of opinions, freedom of the mind, it's all encompassing, it all makes the whole picture. So that was the idea behind Life with Lucy, really. It was not just about financial freedom, it's about freedom to be self, really. Freedom to be yourself. And that's something I felt that I wouldn't say I couldn't be myself, but I had to sort of almost hide certain aspects of myself to represent a certain brand. And then I just thought, if I'm just representing me, then that makes life so much easier, really. So yeah, so join my free group. Come, you know, I'll put it in the comments thread, the link. And yeah, and if you have been, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. If you're watching it on Facebook, give us a love, give us a like. Really, really appreciate all of that. And if you have been, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll be back with more videos, and I hope that has given some value to some of you out there who might be struggling with a few things. So yeah, okay, so have a great weekend, everybody. Speak to you soon.